how God has made everything work for good in my feature film. I've gone through so many life experiences, so many different things, challenges, and traumatic things through life. And one day after I hit like rock bottom, I started, and all the scripts I had written up to that point, my purpose in life was to write and direct movies, and it felt like I was useless at it. I spent like I'd written 400-page steaming piles of garbage once I burned them. I've spent 3 years working on a World War II script that was just not what I wanted it to be, and I had to flip the whole thing. There's no way I was going to make that. It was just too evil. There was a film I spent 4 months outlining for a 30-page script. It was like a 40-page outline for a 30-page script, and it was a train wreck trying to write it. And I just got done. I was just like, you know what? I'm going to just do what Stephen King does and just show up and just let the characters tell the story and then figure it out from there. And what ended up happening was, it was the best writing I'd ever done, the most meaningful writing I'd ever done, the most healing writing I've ever done. And it allowed God to make every experience I'd gone through in life up to that point that had been traumatic or difficult, and use it for good, and use it for healing, and use it for helping others. And it's just so beautiful. It's been so amazing. And like I'm telling you, if, as a filmmaker, a writer, director, God can use a lot of the experiences in your life that you think are terrible, that are no good, and he can use them. And I mean, I don't think he causes them. The thing is, Romans 8:28 is all things work for the good of those who love God. He doesn't use them. He doesn't make these things happen so that you can use them. I think they happen a lot of times because we go our own way. We do things that go against his, what he tells us to do, or what he goes against his word. And then there's things that happen to us, bad things, where it's not just you, it's other people doing things that go against his word. And you have no control over that, but he does use these things for good in our lives. And I think, this last year, I'm not only seeing that with my feature film, but I'm doing this writing project, a premiere for all the short films I've done, for a premiere for a showcase for all my short films I've done, a premiere for my Mike film to honor my friend, but also to tell the story about making it that helped me grieve him, that helped me come back to Christ, that, all the amazing things that happened in my life. And it reframes all these films I've made that might not necessarily be something that I consider God honoring or everything I wanted them to be, and makes them everything I wanted them to be. And uses them all for good. And like, we're going to have a 2-hour event or 2-hour film to put on streamers that is actually just like a mixture of a non-linear documentary. It's a showcase of like all the short films I've done over the years. It's also it's a premiere of the short film, which I think needs the context of the story about making it to really get its full effect with people. Which I didn't know that would be the case, or I kind of knew, but I didn't care. But I kind of, I really want that, where people have the context of the film, because it was not written for anyone other than my friend Mike and I. And the only people who really get it are the people who know his story, who know about him, who've gone through that. So I saw somebody, they were holding a case. It looked like a VR goggles case. Never seen that in the wild before. So I've witnessed it, amazing things. But I tell you, dude, I don't even feel like I'm directing it. I just feel like I'm following something that's calling to me. That's what it feels like, is when something's calling to you, and you're listening and you're trying to follow that whisper. Just keep going, because God's doing some amazing things in your life, and you're not going to know until you get all the way. And so I gotta give myself that advice, not just with the films I make, but with just life in general. And I think things will work out. But I just wanted to bring up, God can use horrible things in life, traumatic things, challenging things with, that don't feel like they serve any purpose. He can use them to serve others, and that brings them purpose. They can help you be the person you need to be to serve others or help others. It might just be a conversation you have with somebody. It might just be a YouTube video or something, or it might just anything. You'll experience things where you'll be able to tell someone about it, and that's exactly what they need to hear at this moment. My hope is that that's happening right now in this video. But yeah, I'm about to get to my destination, so I gotta wrap this video up. But I'm just so blessed by God to have this experience, to be seeing his amazing things, his amazing works in my life, and using these things I've gone through, like my feature. There's one moment where it talks about me getting pears thrown at me as a kid, and by bullies, and I didn't know that would actually become that. Not only became a scene, like it was talked about. I didn't know that. I didn't have plans for that. But it just kind of worked its way into the script, and suddenly I realized, this is actually like a metaphor for the whole film, and a lot of things going on in it. And so it got used in such a beautiful way, and writing about it helped get rid of that trauma. Like it was stuck in me all that time to be used for something beautiful, something God intended its purpose for, that you don't know until it happens. But I'm telling you, man, the things in your life that you go through that are painful, like losing a friend, anything, God, you can allow God to use that in beautiful ways. So I encourage you to find out what that is. What are some painful things that have happened in your life that you think, you'd like to reuse the pain to solve some problem for not just yourself, but someone else? What are some things you've gone through that you could turn into a beautiful piece of art that might impact someone? Let me know in the comments. I appreciate you watching. I hope this video was helpful. My goal is to help serve other people. If there's anything I can do to serve you, whether it's a question about filmmaking or faith, let me know in the comments. I might not be qualified, but if God calls me to answer that question through you, he will qualify me. And my hope is that I can help him with qualifying you for whatever he's calling you to do. Appreciate you watching. Have a good one. Later. Bye.